Do not hurt yourself. How to install an LED in a light meter. You got a burned out bulb. You're going to need a 1.3mm LED and a resistor. Here's a demo to show a 390 ohm, a 560 ohm, and a 1K ohm resistor. The 390 is going to get a little hotter. It's going to be a little brighter. Somewhere in between 400 and 500 ought to do it for you. Notice the bulb. There's a flat side to the bulb. It's called a cathode. I know it's a K, but it's a cathode. It's also a shorter wire. For all intents and purposes of this video, we're going to use the anode and make that our red side, and the cathode, the short end, make that our black side. The resistor will go on the anode side, the long wire. It's not going to be like that. It's just to show you which side it goes on. I'm going to shorten everything up, trim it up, solder it, put heat shrink on it. Okay, which wire is hot, which wire is ground? Disconnect the power to the radio, cut the leads off. It's your handy dandy wire strippers, strip them on. Okay, next we'll get our high-tech meter. Well, first we'll put the power onto the radio. Get our high-tech meter out. Find out one's red, which is hot, makes the meter move, and the other one's cold. There's the hot one. Okay? Now, what I like to do is just take a marker, a black marker, mark the black side. Disconnect the power to the radio before you solder. If not, there will be sparks. Okay, here's what it's going to look like. The cathode, or the short lead with the flat side, is going to go to the black wire. The anode, the long side, and the resistor are going to go to the hot wire. Let's see if we can make it light. Bingo, that's how it works. All right, put your bulb in there, bend it up. You're going to tin up the wires, tin up the ends. Solder adheres to solder a lot easier than solder to metal. Okay, the cathode, or the short end, we're going to make this one black, will go to the top. Notice that plastic piece will only go back in the meter one way. I'll show you later on in the video what I'm talking about, but we'll tin these two. All right. Put the resistor on the bottom one, wrap it around, cut it off, solder it. The heat shrink is going to keep this bulb in place when you're done. All right, so now let's hook it onto the radio. The resistor goes to the red wire, like so, or the bottom. The black wire that you marked with, excuse me, the black wire, the ground that you marked with the marker, is going to go to the cathode short wire with the flat side of the bulb. Easy peasy. All right, let's plug it in. If you overheat these things, you put the iron on too long, you're going to pop the bulb. If you forget the resistor, you're going to pop the bulb. Okay, it works. All right, that's what it looks like, but make it a little bit shorter. Unplug your power. Take a pair of tweezers, or if you can get it with your fingers, slide the heat shrink up on to those joints. Hit it with your heat shrink blower, cigarette lighter, candle, whatever you're going to use, but just make sure there's nothing exposed. And as I said, it holds the bulb in place. I like to check it again before I stuff it back in there. All right, it works. A lot of these meters, it's hard to get to. It may be easier just to take the meter out. Sometimes you can sneak by. Like I said, you can Take your time and you can work the bulb right back in there. Plug her back in, your light lights, put the covers on, you're all done. White, green, red, whatever bulb you want to put in there. Here's a little bit closer view of the bulb. There's the flat side, the cathode, and like I said, the wire's usually shorter. That's your ground side. I like to take it with the short wire. And as I was saying before, with that rubber gasket, it's only going to fit in here one way. If you put it in backwards, it really stinks. So, short side up, cathode side up, flat side up. There's actually two holes in there. Through the two holes, bend the bulb just a hair to get it started. Now it'll face towards the front of the meter. LEDs work better when they're looked at directly on than sideways. And like I said, just for demonstration purposes, the bottom is the anode or the long wire. That's where your resistor goes. And that's pretty much it. If you like the video, subscribe. Thank you.